Hi, my name is Curtis Pierce. I'm an immigration attorney. My office is located in downtown Los Angeles, across the street from the Immigration Court, and about 1 mile from the district office. I've been practicing immigration law for over 20 years. And in that time, I've attended hundreds of interviews for clients who've sought a green card through their marriage to an American citizen. Today, I'd like to share with you my experience from attending all these interviews. And I'd like to discuss some common problems that arise and ways to overcome these problems. First of all, the marriage interview, the interview for adjustment of status, is in many ways like a job interview or even a first date. And what I mean by that is this. In my experience, I've noticed that immigration officers have an impression immediately or almost immediately. I think they know, not long after the couple enters their office, whether or not they believe this is a real marriage and whether or not they're inclined to approve the case or not. Now, this impression may change during the course of the interview. The officer may first have a bad impression and then decide, this actually is a good marriage, I'm going to grant the case. But there definitely is a first impression made. And if possible, we want the officer to have a favorable impression. Again, let's use that dating analogy. If it's like a first date, we want the officer to react like this, as opposed to this. It's also important that the application be well documented. Whenever my office submits an application for adjustment of status based on marriage to a United States citizen, we want to show that it's a real marriage. How do we do this? We want to provide as much documentation as we can. Joint documents. That's what the officer wants to see. For example, joint bills, if you have them, or joint insurance, health insurance, car insurance. Very important. We also like to show joint property, if you have them. Do you have a house in both names? We want to show that. Is there a car in the name of the husband and the wife? We want to show that. If you have an apartment together or both names on the lease, we definitely want to include that. These are some of the ways we're able to easily persuade the officer that it's a real marriage. Because if the officer starts having doubts, that's when the interview process can get very rocky and unpleasant. That's when the officer might be inclined to separate the couple and ask questions about, well, describe your apartment or house. You know, what color are the walls painted? If the officer has a need to separate the couple, it's not a good sign. And that's one indication that the case wasn't well prepared. And the couple probably never should have gone to the interview in the first place. Photographs. We want to make sure the application has many photographs of the couple together. What kind of photographs is the officer interested in? Well, what about the wedding? What did your wedding look like? Did it look like the wedding ceremony of Prince William and Kate? If it did, chances are it was a legitimate marriage. It is a legitimate marriage. Did you have a nice ceremony together at the beach? That would be pretty persuasive as well. Or was it simply a private ceremony? Now, a private ceremony is not necessarily fatal, but in that case, we might have to work harder convincing or persuading the officer that you have a bona fide marriage. And one of the ways we do that is through joint documents. What if you don't have a lot of joint documents that I mentioned? Sometimes I ask my clients to get affidavits of friends and family explaining how they know you and why they believe you have a real marriage. They can explain ways they interact with you, social events you do together. So all these are ways to convince the officer that your marriage is a bona fide marriage. Photographs, joint documents, joint bills. And if you have sufficient joint documentation, chances are good that the officer will be persuaded that you truly have a legitimate marriage and your case will be approved. Thank you.